Why God is a scrapworker? So religious people may experience God as some wish granting machine, उनसे प्रार्थना मांगते जाओ और वो देते जाएंगे. That's how um, people experience religious people experience God. But it is not so the case for a spiritual person. Spiritual person experience God as differently. So my experience of God has been different. Um, rather than Him granting my wishes, it was Him taking most of the things from me. Most of the things from me. Almost all. So, the very first time when He asked me something to let go of, it was very scary. It was scary to death. And I didn't know if I could even believe in this voice or not. A voice that came from my inside. God does live inside of us. He really does live inside of us. It's not something outside. He communicates to us inside of us. It's not something external, you know. It's like, how computers are, sometimes, um, how they're connected with Bluetooth. It's something like that. Okay. How they're connected by wire sometimes. So if you put some information in one computer, the information comes into another computer as well at the same time. It's something like that. You don't have to, use pen drive to just put one information in all the computers. Maybe using Bluetooth or using Wi-Fi or something, internally also you can give information. So God is not like a pen drive. God is more of like a Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So He does communicate to us through our intuition. So very first time when He asked me to give Him something, it was very scary. It was scary to hell. And I just thought maybe I'm going nuts. But I did what He asked me to do. Second time when He asked me to give Him something, it was little easy for me because I had done it already in the first time. And I was liking it. I was liking it because I felt weightless. I felt burdenless. Third time He asked me to give Him something. Fourth time He asked me to give Him something. And the very last time when He asked me to give Him something, that was the most difficult part. Because every time I did give Him something, I felt good. I felt burdenless. But I was still practicing my compulsions, or I was still practicing my fear. So every time I gave Him something, I went and picked up something different and attached myself to it. Then He asked me that, and then I went and picked up something and then attached myself to that. And in doing, I was just, things from external reality were just washing away. There was just only one thing left. So all my attachments, all my fears were stick to one damn thing. And then He asked me that damn last thing, and I have to give Him that. And it was the most hardest of job to do, but I had to give Him even that. So my experience of God on my spiritual journey is different than a religious person. A religious person sees God as a wish granting machine, but in reality, God is a scrapworker. He's going to ask you things and things. You have to volunteer yourself to give Him these things on your own. And He's going to ask you the most useless things that your mind just thought was very important. Very, very important. He just want to show us how stupid our mind is, you know, and how it attaches to external things and how small they are. Every time I gave them, I felt bigger, I felt powerful, you know. All my energy and power were going outside into the objects, but there did not lie my power. My power lied inside of me. God taught me the balancing of the internal and the external. So I I was giving too much on my external. I was working too much on my external and was not really trusting my internal, was not really giving importance to my internal world, you know. I was, you know, compensating my fear, you know, by attaching myself to external things. But in reality, in reality, it is I who was important. And and that means that I had to put out fear. That means I had to put out fear from inside of me so that I can breathe, you know. But all I was doing was I was putting all my energy, focus, and energies in the external, and that was so stupid of me to do so. So yes, um, yeah, that's what I have. He's a scrap worker. He asks you the most useless things that your mind thinks is so important. Sometimes he has asked me very directly, sometimes indirectly. He has asked me to give him things. I just wanted to come out here and tell you my experience of God.